Hey everybody, it's Frank. Welcome back. How y'all been doing? Well, today is day 10 of Economic Ninja Challenge. I wonder what he's gonna do. He says like to tag him or something. I'm still kind of new to that. Like I know how to make videos. I know how to post them. Like tag what? Like I don't know. Anyway, I've been copying what he has, but no idea. He said he was going to look at people's stuff. We're going to find out. Anyway, today, I promise. Oh, wrong hand. Oh, I'm sorry. Right hand. I got to put my right hand up. I promise this might be short. Cross fingers. Because I wasn't 100% sure what to talk about today. So I'm going to call it, I don't know. I wanted to talk more about the economic conditions and briefly talk about that if I can. But so maybe I'll name this patience. Not in general, but I'm going to call it patience. So not sure where you guys are in your journey, finances. But I see some things, and some of my previous videos, I kind of said, hey, like, just I call it sandbagging. You know, when in doubt, cash is king. Why do we say that? Well, you know, when you lose your job, you need cash, right? It's really hard in this environment because the last couple of years, inflation's just crazy. I mean, it's to be expected. I've been kind of expecting for inflation. The last couple of years was kind of a lot of inflations quickly, and they were actually the Federal Reserve was increasing rates, and we were still getting so. That aside, right? You don't want to have to sell all your stuff. You don't want to. It always seems like when you lose your job, you gotta, oh, I don't have enough money, so you're trying to sell your stocks, and well, guess what? The entire stock market is selling, right? Typically when there's a market high, everyone starts buying, right? Like the fear of missing out, and it's like the worst time to buy, right? And like the opposite, right? Like when the market's crashing, a lot of people are selling. They're either, oh my gosh, oh, it's never going to recover. But if you got to sell, you got to sell, right? So I've been trying to position myself so that my investments, I don't want to sell them. So I make sure that I have quite a bit of sufficient funds in case, you lose your job or whatever, right? There's always an emergency, right? People, it's like, nowadays it's like $1,000. I get it, especially with inflation. It's like people are just, it's like they're trying to keep their head above the water. So do the best you can. But so I wanted to speak about it because ever since after the election, especially with Trump being more of a business person, the stock market's like going crazy. Like I don't get it. I mean I sort of get it, but I think it's been artificially I'll call it padded, right? Like I think the prices are they've been outrageous anyway. So this might be a little bit of a retail investor getting in, meaning like not large institutions. Now there probably is some of that because they always continuously buy, right? You got your 401k. I call it the 401k market, right? Like these. They get money and they have, every regularity they buy it, right? And then you got all these other institutions that are betting, up, down, every which way but Sunday type of thing. So, but typically when there's a price run like this, that's when the retail investor, I mean, Bitcoin, like what is going on there? Like, I looked at the chart today and it's redonkulous. Like, it's gone up, like, what? Let's see here. 80? Is that 87? Like, it was just, like, $20,000 in the last few days. Like, that move, it's straight up. I mean, I think there's a little now, right? Trump's come out and said he wants to be the crypto. So I get it. People are like, "Hey, I gotta get on." I do say crypto does go up, but like right now, I see a move like that. I'm like, no. I mean, I have a little bit of crypto. I don't have a lot of money in crypto. I have some Bitcoin. I have some Ethereum, and I still don't get it. I mean, I kind of understand some of it, but I'm more like, hey, how do I know there's this many, right? Oh, the ledger. And I don't know, man. Like, it just seems like it's another scam to me. But if the government's going to start buying crypto, or Bitcoin in particular, you know the price is going to go up, right? So. But the question is, how much up? We don't know. Right? It's still a new asset class, so you want to be exposed to it, and maybe especially right now. Like I said, if you don't have any Bitcoin, don't buy it right now. No. And I'm looking at the the dollar, the DXY has kind of gained, and that kind of makes sense, right? The dollar was down because it was, and then shortly, once it looked like Trump was going to win, the dollar really strengthened up. And there's going to probably be some other things with Russia, selling some or whatever. I'm trying to remember exactly how they termed it, but they're going to have some of it denominated in dollars. So that's actually good. That kind of helps our economy a little bit, especially the dollar. The Treasury market seems to be, it kind of went up. I think that was more expecting inflation. And it's kind of come down a little bit, but still, it's like at 4.3, which still is a low number. But yeah, the volatility in that Treasury note, kind of, I don't know. The bond market is weird lately. And when I mean lately, the last couple of years. So when I've been saving my money, I actually just buy 1 month Treasury bills. If you want a separate video, I might do that. Just kind of, what does that mean? It just means like it's like, you can probably just say the duration, because there's like a difference between bills, notes, and bonds. And bills mean they're like less than 2 years, and a note means it's like between 2 and 10, and then a bond is like a 20-year bond or 30-year bond. Like I wouldn't tie up my money. Tie up my money for 30 years. That sounds like a reverse mortgage where I'm lending the government, right? And it's like like 4 or 5%. Like what? What are you talking about? Everyone's mortgage rates are like 6 and 7. Now, if you told me, hey, we'll pay you 15%. Yeah, sure. Like, I'll probably just retire today because enough money with that. I'll reduce my expenses significantly and be like, I can retire. I don't need a job. But with that said, yeah, I don't. Lately, the one thing that's looking attractive to me is actually gold and silver. And yeah, they've had a bit of a run up. Gold for the last year has made some pretty good drops. But as of it looks like today, just broke some. What is that? 50-day? Yeah. So I got my blue. I can't. You guys don't see it, but I'm looking at my screen. So it just broke the 50-day moving average. It's still got some weight at the 200-day. I'm sorry, I got 20-day and 50-day. I don't have 200 on here. I thought I did. Well, we got to fix that. But yeah, so it's kind of broke some support. So now I'm kind of like, hey, it's looking yummy now. So, but silver in particular looks really good. Yeah, it's come down significantly. So I'm looking at the paper derivative. The reason why I look at the paper derivative, I know it's sort of kind of fake. Meaning there's more silver contracts. So there's SLV is actually a contract. You don't actually own the silver. I don't think anyone owns this silver. I do buy physical, both gold and silver, just for awareness. But if I'm looking at the price action, because when you buy gold and silver, there's actually a premium, which means, let's say gold is at $2,000, right? So you don't go to the coin shop and buy it for $2,000. You're gonna buy above, right? So you're already gotta look for a move up, right? And then when you sell, it's like depends on what you have. But traditionally, you're gonna sell under, you know. So you'd be selling under 2,000, even though it's worth $2,000. But when you buy it, it'll be more than 2,000. So depending upon that spread, especially silver, I don't know what the heck's going on with silver. It's like you pay like 20% premium, like, so you gotta pay 20%, and then you're hoping, like, you gotta wait for a 20% pull up, or a go up, right? And you're breaking even, like what? So, but yeah, so if you're kind of playing that game and you're kind of going in and out of the market, like a SLV or GLD is actually a good. But again, these could be quote unquote risky, meaning like one day when the piper, they don't have enough silver or gold in them to give everybody their gold. They'll be forced to settle it in dollars. So the key is, all right, well, if the dollar is devalued significantly, then it doesn't matter, right? I'd rather have my ounce of gold or my ounce of silver. But so we're looking at it just more from I'm looking at it from what asset classes right now look good. And I'm telling you right now, if I had to pick one, I'd probably pick gold and silver. If you told me one, I'd say silver. But I believe gold and silver is more of a long-term play. And they're more wealth preservation, so it's not that necessarily that it went up in dollar terms. It's just the dollar has lost value. So take it for what it's worth. So you gotta find something that's trying to beat inflation. I long term, I know silver and gold will. It's just a matter of when. There's a lot of tinfoil hat, and I love my tinfoil hat community. I wear mine pretty proudly, but it's always good to get information, right? I mean, you got to also have, and maybe we'll get into that in a separate video. But you got to somehow vet some of this information, right? You got to have, you got to have ways to either confirm, deny, and then you got to have like, all right, probability, right? Like it might be accurate information, but maybe the timing's wrong, right? Like all sorts of stuff that goes into that, But yeah, so for me, I'm trying to all right, well, I don't want to buy the S&P, right? I mean, the stock market's at an all-time high, so why would I buy it now? Like, I'm pretty sure we're going to have a market pullback, and we know we're going to have some type of economic downturn. So why would I buy stocks here? I feel like this is like 2007, 2008. Why would I buy stocks now when, a year from now, it might just cut in half? So what? I'd rather have my cash and wait for the pullback. The problem is we don't know when the heck we're going to get the pullback. We might have, a rally in stocks for another 6 months. I don't know. And one of the other videos that we had before, I was talking about the Federal Reserve cut interest rates, right? So we know, from the past history, 3 to 9 months is when we have, when they start cutting, there's going to be a recession. So, the market might take a while, right? I don't know. I was kind of thinking the beginning of the year, which is kind of ironic because most of our downturns are in the fall, right? We're in November, so anything's possible. But I don't think it's 3 months. I don't think it's 9 months. So they started cutting in September, right? So April, I don't know. So take it for what it's worth. So I'd rather, even though the market's looking like it's up, I'd rather have my cash so that when the real pullback happens, and again, it's also a smart move because if you don't have a lot of assets, then having cash on hand, especially if you have a short profile, but so for me, yeah, I'm gonna keep my eye on gold and silver here because they've pulled back significantly, and they're a good term. And I haven't bought a lot lately. I've been just kind of hoarding cash. because I'm trying to wait for a pullback. So yeah, I mean, comparatively, gold's gone down significantly, and silver more so recently. Because whenever like the stock market does well, pretty much the gold, they call them monetary metals. They typically kind of trade opposite, like inverse. But they're also uh, dollar strength, right? Or weakness, and then interest rates, right? So when interest rates start going up, gold and silver don't look necessarily attractive, unless there's uncertainty in the market or uncertainty in a geopolitical sense, right? I still think there's still some geopolitical shenanigans going on. It's good that at least they've gone on record saying Trump won, right? But yeah, if 2020 and 2021 is any litmus test, there could be weird shenanigans, right? I hope not, but I know some people out there. That's another thing. What even if not very, you're upset about the results. I get it, right? But why would you go around shaving your head? There's all these people, like, there's so much hate. They want to say certain, the whatever, the right or whatever. They're so hateful. Like, I'm seeing so much hate from the left. Like, I even, like, was waving to certain people. Man, they were like, okay, man. Like, at the end of the day, we're human beings, man. I just, I don't have a lot of faith, I guess. It's just, I try not to make any assumptions, so. But yeah, so I'm just, with that said, I'm just saying, like, be prepared. I don't know what. I hope nothing happens with, but you never know. I mean, even if nothing happens, like, meaning, like, any crazy shenanigan. Let's just say people they just say all sorts of crazy stuff, right? And they shave their heads and, we don't like you men anyway, so we're going to not like you more. Whatever. Knock yourself out. We don't care. We don't want, we don't want to, we'll if you want to come talk to us, let us know when, you can be an adult about it. So anyway. But yeah, even with that said, I fully expect, even if everything goes clean, the economy's coming down. How much? That's the question. So, with that said, today is Monday, November 11th. It's actually Veterans Day. I know I did my Veterans Day thing yesterday so that you guys could see it today. So you'll see this on Tuesday. So hopefully we'll see what Mr. Ninja has in store. We'll still keep doing a video here in 18 minutes. I was hoping to do it under 15, so I apologize. I kind of ran it a little bit. So, with that said, have a good day. See you tomorrow. Keep your head up. And see you soon. Bye.